here I am on my little walkabouts. Just kidding. Replaced a water heater. Does not really work. It's good to troubleshoot them sometimes, trying to get them to kickstart to work, but they don't work all the time. I'm actually gonna try and install that new dipstick here. I'm gonna leave it here. Hopefully it works. It should work. It will work. Sorry if it's a little loud. Last time I did this, the guys didn't fill up the gas on the generator, and I was like, man, that's not cool. So luckily it was like warm that day, hot that day. So my other thought process to this is hopefully the homeowner can like leave it inside of the home where it's nice and warm, especially if it's like this, where it's really cloudy, overcast, because it's supposed to look like that. It gets really clear, and when you heat it up and cool it down, as you can see, it's starting to cool down. It's starting to turn blue. So when you were to heat this thing up, it would do that. How awesome is that? It's so cool. So I'm just gonna heat this up just for now, but I am gonna leave this here. I'll let the homeowner know I'm gonna leave this here. And it's so cool when it's like clear and then that's blue. I'm gonna dip this in the tank. I don't know how full this tank is. The other house that I was at the first time, it was pretty full. So I'm gonna dip this in there and let's see it turn colors. Let me get it nice and warm. And then, yep, it's nice and warm. Here we go. I should have opened that before. Okay, take two. I didn't open that. So, painted, or I just heated the whole thing up. Let's check this out. And there's our water line when I dipped it in the tank. Everything else is still clear except the part where the part like touches. See how it's changing color? My hand's a little wet, but that's the water line. It's so awesome. Let's try one more time. So that thing's pretty cool. I should have brought my tripod. I have an actual like real tripod that gets better angles. I just had this propped on the tailgate. That's why it was kind of low. It was a little not the best like video angle, but the first part I should have popped that cap off. That was a little bit of a fail moment. Blooper reel. But yeah, I had manually heating it up is pretty cool. It's like so clear, and I think it'll work better if it was like a sunny day, a sunny hot day. The homeowner just pulls it out, let it sit in the sun for a bit, come back out, dip that thing in there, and then pull it out, and it'll show just like what you guys saw, just that one dark blue line. it was pretty cool. I was really stoked. I showed the homeowner. She didn't even know that they had a dipstick in there, but I showed her and she was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." So it'll help them a lot more to know exactly where the water line is. This is very hard to like guesstimate how much water you have in that tank, because you may think you're using a lot of water, but when Howard or Ty or Steven or Harvin, Stanley, maybe Rob at one point, or if there's a possibility, me, that goes over and fills that tank and you only dropped into 100 or 200 gallons of water, but you know, you think that you're using a lot, but you're probably not. So that's the purpose for it, is an easier read for the homeowner to see how much water they have inside of their tank, and also for like Howard and anybody like that that comes by to see how much water to pump in there. So I hope it's a usable thing and it just keeps working. And I think from winter time it's totally not going to work because it's too cold outside. But my next to do on that is to look for a lower temperature rating. So instead of it changing at 88 degrees, I wonder if they have one that will change around 40 degrees. So the colder the better. So I hope I can find something like that. It'd be cool. Maybe one that's doesn't go clear. I've seen some that go from like blue to pink. So maybe I'll throw in like one of those odd ones. If you get the odd one, hey, you'll probably win a prize. And the homeowner dips it in there like, why is it pink? So Howard and Ty are out here. I see dually tracks. Usually you could see there are tracks going in and out, like those big tracks, the big dually tracks. But the rain just like literally passed by. So it kind of covered up some of it. I was hoping, yeah, you can see a little bit of their tracks coming in and out. So I was hoping to catch them, but I was like trying to remember, like, why was they coming out here? And I remember they had to hit the furthest house on this road because they didn't get to it yesterday. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. But it's always great to see cool stuff like that. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping away, or you just hear the truck running. Yeah, let's continue on, get to this next house, throw in that Mark 2.1 dipstick in there. Thank goodness. Oh, good thing I did go on a diet and stayed basically in shape. This was not easy. Had a stuck foot valve. Had to dig about up to here. I'm 6 feet tall, almost up to my shoulders. Pretty deep and pretty hard. Got it done. So yeah, that was a fun little moment. Good workout. Gonna drink some protein. So throughout my whole day is fasting. Because I've been, my diet's been off for a while. A lot of grease. I went running last night. I was talking to my nieces about this. I was like, man, I went running. I felt weighted down, like gravity was pulling me. And I was like making excuses, saying, oh, it's probably the deep sand. Deep sand's making me slow. This is making me slow. But then I was like, you know what? That's not an excuse. It just got a little chubby. I felt it like bouncing around, but yeah, I went running and I just felt slow. I don't know why. I felt slow. I was moving about 8 minute per mile pace, but I still felt slow. I was like, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I think it was just mostly all the grease, me being a little lazy. But that was a good kickstart. Last night was a good kickstart. And love seeing the mountain, especially in this whole backside area. I run down in this area when I do my 10-mile loop, and I have this like killer hill climb. It takes me, the last time I did a 10-mile, I got to mile marker 9 at 1 hour and 20 minutes, somewhere around there. And all I had to do was go up this hill, do like a half mile, and I'm done. But that hill took me so long. It took me about 20 minutes to climb because it's so steep and it's so sandy. It's like every step I was going 3 steps back. And I was like trying to run. I was making the running movement, but I was probably like at a slow turtle pace. So yeah, that's why I need to get my diet back on track, do some intermittent fasting. But yeah, digging that hole was pretty good. I got a nice sweat going on, but with it being that deep, got sand down my pants now. I wasn't too happy when I was getting out. I was like, dang it, why? Picking on this weird scab thing. But yeah, get ready, head back. Got a few more houses to go to and then head back to the yard. I will normally only do this when I'm like on a dirt road and there's no traffic, there's no oncoming traffic, nothing like that. There's nobody on the road. I have not seen a car on the road for a while. Just added the dipstick. Should have had the camera out, but that's the idea. As you can kind of see, there's a darkness to it. So that's the water line, is right there just under 4 feet. So I hope that keeps going like that. I'm gonna leave that in there, and that's what I was aiming for, is that like light blue, and then the dark blue is for the water. So I hope that one works. Oh yeah. So with homes like this, I don't want to disrupt the home. It's one of those airstreams, and I don't want to drill a hole into it, any of it. So what we did was a suitcase with the solar mounted on there. Pretty cool. And then just ran it through their hose, just like if they were gonna go to a RV park, hook up their trailer to a hose to their water lines, kind of like a big outdoor spigot. So it's the same idea. And then with the drainage is the same idea, is they just hook up to our infiltrators. And he can pop this off, take that off, and if he wanted to use the trailer, he could literally just take that off, take the hose off, and he can go and head out. So that's the idea. That was a great idea to put this back into use. We had that one sitting inside of our Conex for a while, and then just mounted the panel on top. Outdoor sighting, so that worked out perfectly. And now a color changing dipstick. Whew. Nice, busy, easy, fun day. The digging of that hole gave me a lot of energy. And I was telling Mike, I was like, I'm very, very energized right now from digging that hole. That suitcase house was the nail biter one. I was trying to finish it as quick as I can and get out of there, because by the time I hit the road it was 4 o'clock and I was like, oh no, I need to get to the yard. Came back within like 40 minutes. Well, I came back with like 15 minutes to spare, and thankfully the guys unloaded the truck, because I went straight into the office and updated Mike on all these houses that I went to. And yeah, I was biting the nail on that one. I was like, oh man, I hope I get back in time. But luckily I did. I actually beat Howard and Ty, which was, I don't know how that happened. I thought they were gonna be here already, but yeah, sadly I didn't get to find them. But other than that, everybody got their water, everybody's all fixed and squared away, and I made it back in barely a nail biter back in time. But yeah, hope you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, catch you guys in the next one.